And a baby, yeah.
Did it stunt their growth?
Well, look at me.
Let's not go there.
Begged from one of my parents' cups when I was just a little toddler.
So, Gary, did your parents drink coffee?
Yeah.
How about your brothers?
Yeah.
I don't
Black
understand.
sheep of the family when it came to the caffeine bean, huh?
I don't understand.
I drank it a little bit, tasted it, when I was younger, much younger, and when I was, 6, 7, 8 years old. I don't know, I never took a liking to it.
Really drink much of it until I got in the Navy. Then I really started chugging it down.
I can't resist. Were you a bottle baby or a breastfed?
Breastfed.
No wonder.
Is that? I'm not going to go there. I'm just letting this one just die right here, kaput. I got a really nice squirrel picture on the monitor here. I'm staring at the squirrel.
Live or Memorex?
Oh, there was a double there. I see. I think Lee was in there. Go ahead, Lee.
Is the squirrel staring back?
Oh, I think he's got an eyeball on me. Yeah. This one is so small. He's sitting on the grass in the lawn, and he's almost. The cut grass, mowed grass, is almost as tall as he is.
Isn't it warmer now than it was when I went to bed?
I forgot to look at the thermometer.
19.
Oh. I would say, yeah, I'd say it's a few degrees warmer than when I went to bed. Upstairs wasn't quite as cold this morning when I got up, so yeah, I'd have to agree with you.
For some reason, I'm thinking it's Saturday.
It is, Lee. Every day is Saturday except for Sunday.
Yeah, that's true. But I know I put the garbage out yesterday afternoon for the Friday pickup today. Because the garbage man still celebrates Friday.
My work week is 6 Saturdays and a Sunday. And lots of coffee interlaced throughout it.
Coffee run.
Stu, did you work AU2K yet?
That one does not ring a bell. I'll have to look here and see. AU 2 kilo?
Roger.
Nope. That's a no-show in my log. There was an above-average amount of 160-meter activity last night, at least on the ST8 channel.
Oh, well, there's a contest starting tonight.
Yeah, that's right. I think there's a 160-meter contest, but I don't think there's FT8's not allowed. I think if it's the one I remember, it's CW and the sideband only.
It would be CW only in the contest.
Oh, okay. Roger that. Well, maybe folks were burning the dust off their amplifiers last night or something, getting ready for it.
KG0C.
NI0K.
Indeed, N7QJP.
KB0WLT.
I had a frustration dream that seemed to last all night.
That's pretty much my average night, John. I hate to say it, but it's true.
Isn't that? It's frustrating.
And mine finally stops. I go to bed about typically between 10 and 10:30. And every now and then I stay up until 11, 11:30, if the band's open and I'm chasing something or whatever. But usually 10 to 10:30. I've stopped drinking coffee in the evening. I don't probably have any coffee, and the last cup is mid-afternoon or something like that. My doc said I should stop doing that, so I did. And it's not until maybe 3:30, 4 o'clock rolls around at night where I'm almost not dreaming anymore. And then, like this morning, I woke up and it was at one point it was 5 o'clock, and it's like, well, it won't be too much longer now, and it'll be time to get up and make the fire. And then, just kabam, it was 5:45, just that fast it seemed like. But other times, earlier in the night, I'll wake up at 11:30, and then 11:45, and then maybe 12:15, and then 12:40, and it just these little brief flaps, and the whole time is a frustration dream. Yes.
I sent you an email, Stu.
I see that. A 6mm PPC, huh?
You see the group it shot?
I don't know how many holes that is.
He claims 5.
Oh, well, if that's 5, that's pretty darn good.
The hole is only enlarged 75,000 over the size of the bullet.
Oh, my goodness. Yeah, that's going some.
In his comments, he says it does that every time he shoots it, so I'd like to see that.
That says quite a bit for his shooting skills and for the rifle.
Roger.
Did he say if it was at 100 yards, or I'm assuming it is?
Yeah, I think he mentioned 100 yards.
Okay, I'm just looking at the picture. I hadn't read anything in it yet.
The scope he's got on there is a 45 power.
Oh my goodness.
Hey, Stu.
Yes, sir.
You gotta put this on your note to do tomorrow or the next day. Battleship Iowa will activate the ship's original NEPM Navy call sign on December 7 to 8.
Oh, yeah. I know there's some of those that do that. I may have worked. Hold on. That's a good one to look up. Let me see here. Let me see. What was the call sign again? November Echo something? What was the call sign again, John? Oh, John went QRT.
You'll never know now.
I'll never know.
When I worked in before, I'm sure it didn't have that same call sign. This is just this particular year, I think.
Maybe so, yeah. Hello, John. He must have suffered a catastrophic meltdown.
Yeah, I think so. Either with his body or the flex.
I'm guessing the flex.
F and flex.
I was going to say it's the body. Or the other man with the flex.
Maybe Greg's got him on the phone trying to get his going.
Oh, that's a possibility. Happened before.
I sneak away for coffee.
You don't sneak away when you get caught.
So I've worked NI6 BB, which is the Battleship Iowa's Amateur Radio Association. They're the guys that kind of do the caretaking on the radio room there. So John, what was the call sign that they're going to be using this in a couple days here?
November Echo, Papa, Mexico.
I worked them on December 7th, 2022. Upper sideband, 15 meters. You guys are going, he never works voice. Yeah, well, I did.
Special permission, a special waiver from the FCC allowing appropriately licensed amateur radio operators to work NEPM.
There you go. Well, that's good. I'm glad they're carrying on the tradition. That's awesome.
So they're working split. NEPM will be on military frequencies, and they'll be listening on amateur radio bands.
Yes, I recall them doing that. That might have been the first time I actually tried to run the Yaesu in split mode to get a real honest-to-goodness contact.
The first time you were successful.
The first time I was successful, yeah. That's probably the better way to say it, Lee. Yep. Let's see, which VFO is on transmit here? Da-da-da.
Who's on second?
Yeah. I think I was listening on A and transmitting on B. Oh yeah. Pretty sure that might have been all included in that one contact. Yes, sir.
Up.
down. Yeah, if you're not working up on that one, you're definitely out of your band authorization. That's for sure.
And eyes are okay.
How's that?
A0HPY.
KB0WLT.
Top of the hour.
And what the ICOMs do, if you turn the second receiver on, in other words, go to the dual receive and dial up something on the second VFO. You transmit on the A side and listen on either one.
Oh my goodness, that could be quasi-confusing, I suppose.
Well, it helps me with my noise on 160 because I can put that other receiver in nowhere land with no antenna.
Oh, okay, understand. Very good.
Listen with no antenna on B, and it transmits on A.
The other day when I was down visiting Jeff, we got talking about transceivers and stuff, and somehow that new one came up, that new ICOM came up in discussion, and I said, for 6K and some change, I could probably really enjoy something like that. And he goes, what would you use it for? I said, it would be so nice to, I said, yak here on 3761 and go up on 20 or 15 meters or something and work FT8 and not have to worry about blowing the front end out of each other, not having to worry about bandpass filters and, all that kind of stuff because, since it's all in one radio knows when it's transmitting and, so on and so forth. And he's like, oh, yeah, that would be kind of cool. That's like, put me down for one.
Yeah, the radio knows when to plug its ears.
Exactly. Yeah, well, that's about what he said. He goes, yeah. Yep, you're absolutely right.
Hey, Stu.
Yes, sir.
So the back of a Flex has inputs and outputs that with simple RCA plugs and cables would allow you to take two radios and interlock the transmit that way.
Oh, that's pretty cool. Yeah. I could see a big advantage on that. Yes, sir. So what you're saying is the F and Flex does in fact have some redeeming qualities.
It does.
Oh,
So, Greg, did you decide your Maestro's broke?
I'm waiting for Mike Walker to tell me it is.
Your new one?
I don't think it's broke. It's not broken. I suspect what he's going to tell me to do. Yeah, my new one. What he's going to tell me to do is do a factory reset. I'll bet you anything that's what he says.
So now there's an effing Maestro too?
Well, the Maestro's a Flex.
Touche.
I love my Flex despite minor issues.
What are you operating now, Greg?
The Flex.
With a different Maestro on it?
Yeah, I bought a new one. I bought a C.
What are you having trouble with?
You've never done this, and the other guys might be bored with this, but when I use N1MM for contesting, that's logging software. N1M will automatically send stuff, but you can also hook your paddle up to this wind keyer thing, and you can use your paddle too. And what's happening is on the Maestro, you have to, there's a button on a menu button. You have to disable, called iambic keying. The wind keyer doesn't want that turned on. So you turn that off and then everything works, just like it's supposed to. But with the new Maestro, when I try to use N1MM, all it sends is DITs, no DAWs. So there's another menu button called swap dot and dash. So if I disable that button, then everything works like it's supposed to work. But I never had to disable that dot dash button on my Maestro B.
I'll be darned.
Well, that's a new improvement they made to help you out.
Maybe, but it's not helping me out.
Maybe somebody else.
Yeah, until you get that fixed, you can't send the ET phone home.
Yeah, I could send anything. As long as I disable both those buttons, everything works like it did before. So, even if they tell me my Maestro is got something wrong with it, I don't know if I'm going to send it in.
What page of the manual is that on?
I don't know. I'd have to look, but I have looked at it. But the swap, the dot, and the dash is only necessary when using N1MM. If I just want to use the wind keyer as an external keyer, that works just fine.
Strange.
Yeah, it's peculiar, but I'll bet you there's a simple explanation for it. I'm just waiting. I'll get an answer back from Walker today.
So them guys at Flex, are they all CW guys, so they've fallen into that pothole themselves?
Oh, I don't know about that. I think Mike Walker does some CW contesting, and he's just I don't know, John, what do you call Mike Walker? A help guy, but he's very helpful. He must look at a lot of these different IO groups, because if it's a post that concerns anything Flex, you're almost guaranteed he's going to get back to you.
He makes tons of videos, and he does guest spots on podcasts. He will do a Zoom into your club meeting and yak about Flex. He goes to all the shows that Flex has a booth, and he's very friendly and very eager to help.
And he's John Simmons wannabe, except he's not as good looking.
He uses the same barber.
Yeah, he goes to the same barber, you guys.
And he's been divorced and remarried.
That I did not know. And he's a Canadian.
Eh?
BA3 MW. BA3 Mike Walker.
And he works from home.
Yeah. You guys, speaking of working from home, did you see the new contract the government workers got? They get to work from home for the next 5 years.
And do they still get paid or no?
Oh, yeah. Yeah, you bet you get paid. A lot of them don't do anything. They just sit there.
My dad worked for the federal government his entire career, and he said that people will, it's very difficult to get fired. And people that are really, really bad at their jobs, the boss just gives up trying to fire them and puts them in an office with nothing to do.
Yeah, isn't that just a wonderful job? Man, I wish I could get one of those.
You couldn't stand it.
You're absolutely right. You know what, though, John? I tend to disagree with that whole philosophy that you can't fire them, because it's been said that you can't fire a teacher either, and I prove that to be false.
N-I-0-K. But it takes a lot of work.
It takes perseverance, and it takes a desire to do so. That's what's lacking in our profession, in my former profession. It's just they don't want it. They don't want it. Principals and superintendents just don't want to put forth the effort to do it. That person would have to be so bad that they'd almost be forced into doing it.
KG0C.
KB0WLT.
K0HPY.
WK0B.
Unless they got caught molesting a minor or something.
Boy, they
Yeah.
get fast then.
Yeah, I tell you, I don't know.
There was a ham, and he was a school resource officer, and he got fired for bad behavior with young people.
Yeah, that happens.
Good morning to the group, K0JUN.
Hello, Gary.
Call Gary, you're loud.
Hi, Gary.
What's happening?
We're discussing everything known to man.
Oh boy, that's a broad subject.
Yeah, and it's something we all know something about.
Or think we do.
Well, 20 degrees and the wind is gone.
20 here, too.
Change of branches to pick up in the yard.
Anybody have antenna damage?
Hey, Gary Johnson.
Yeah.
I got into Harbor Freight yesterday.
In Bemidji?
Roger.
You find anything interesting?
I bought a new buffer.
A new buffer.
Buffer weight.
Yeah. I bought one from, I had two buffers. I have two buffers from Harbor Freight. One down in Yuma and one here. But they're light duty. And the one down in Yuma works just fine for what I use it for, but this one here leaves a lot to be desired. Well, I was looking on Harbor Freight's website the other day, and they make a bigger one. One that has, it's the way a buffer should be. Long shafts on each side, and it had 5/8" arbor. So I bought it, and I got it hooked up last night. Had to do some welding to mount it, but boy, I tell you what, my first impression is, why didn't I buy this long ago?
That's pretty neat.
So I have 4 buffers in the shop now.
Jeepers. So here's a question. What were you circuit breaker shopping for yesterday?
Well, okay, here's the deal on that. Out in the shop, all my wall outlets are kosher to code. They all have those child protection duplexes in them, and they're all on a ground fault breaker in the box. And I had a home run line run from the box through the attic, down the far wall, the east wall, and a ground fault interrupter duplex installed there. And at first, there were no issues with it, but now, if I was to go out there after signing off here, the breaker would be tripped. And I just push the button in, reset it, and everything's fine. It's RF that's making it trip. So I said, well, I'm just going to buy another ground fault or arc fault. I don't know which one I should get. And put it in the box. And then just put a standard duplex over there on the wall. Jeepers creepers, you spend $70 on one of those breakers, so I didn't. I just bought a regular old duplex, and I'm gonna stick that in there, and maybe. And probably just buy a new ground fault duplex.
Yep, roger that. Okay, very good. Yeah, now you know why I was so happy when Eaton stepped up to the plate and sent me 10 of those breakers, and those were the more expensive arc fault. Arc fault covers both ground fault and arcing. Now you know why I was so happy when they sent me 10 of those at their cost.
Roger. So, what's code? Is it arc fault or is it ground fault? Or doesn't it matter?
Oh, it matters, and it's all about where you install them at. Arc faults aren't necessary, if I recall correctly. Arc faults are not necessary out in the garage. They are mandatory on the lower receptacles, and like the ones you have in your bedroom. That you set your alarm clock on the dresser, and the cord drapes down and plugs into the outlet that's 18 inches off the deck.
You're supposed to have that on ground fault in the bedroom?
Yeah.
Arc fault.
Oh, arc fault. You gotta have arc fault in the bedroom.
Yeah. Well, yeah, and in the living room and those kind of places. You don't need it up on the kitchen counter. You can get by with the ground fault up there, if I recall correctly. But the arc fault, what they're designed to do is furniture typically gets pushed up against the wall and bends the wiring coming out of the 110 volt cord that's plugged into the outlet, and the arc faults are designed to detect a break in the wire where it's arcing to make contact, and that's why they get confused when they find RF on the wiring from our transmitters. It thinks that that's a break in the wire, and it's causing an arc, and that's why it trips.
If I was to replace all my breakers with arc pulse, I'd have to sell a kidney.
You
Or a
don't
couple
want one
knives.
of Donna's kidneys, silly.
Yeah. Oh, you guys are so helpful.
Or a couple
Especially when you
knives.
all talk at once.
Yeah, quite a few knives I think there would probably cover it too, huh, Lee?
Yeah.
Yep, there. I had one of those that I finally reverted back to a regular breaker here in the house. It just refused to cooperate, and there was no ground faults in the system. And it only happened on a certain mode on one of the bands, even at low power, let alone at high power. So yeah, sometimes you just, if the wiring going to it was AC wire was probably just the optimum length that it had a node or a spike or what do you want to call it, a high voltage or a low voltage standing wave on there, and it just drove it crazy.
Yeah. Oh, I have another option I could do. In the breaker box, that home run line I explained is the second breaker on the top left side. And the first breaker on the top left side is a ground fault breaker. So I could put that home run onto the ground fault breaker, and it would be just fine, because everything in the garage is 20 amp.
Roger that. Yeah, it's always something, it seems,
Yeah, always something.
They try to build a better mousetrap, and lo and behold, someone already has a smarter mouse out there for it.
And eyes are okay.
AG0C.
When I was in Menards there, and I was looking at the prices of those breakers, I said, nah, I'm not doing this today. And
Zero HP.
the guy, there was a guy I'd never seen before, an employee, working real close to where I was looking, and he says, "Did you find everything?" And I said, "Nah, yeah, sort of." And then I said to him, "Boy, they've sure gotten proud about all these electronic electrical devices." And he said, "Oh boy, you sure have. There's arc pulse and there's ground faults, and it was kind of fun to talk to him."
N7QJP on 20.
KB0WLT.
WK0B.
I think you'd find Gary even more interesting to talk to as an employee at Menards. K0HPY.
Oh, I've done that many times.
Yeah.
I've been there and done that.
Yeah, I know you have.
Oh, here's another good one. Gene, you'll get a kick out of this.
Okay, I'm ready.
We got into Target yesterday. I haven't been in Target. I can't tell you the last time I was in Target. We just don't go there anymore. And not for any particular reason. We just don't go there. Anyway, Donna needs a new iPad. Hers is to the point where it can't be updated anymore. And it's been that way for quite a while. I bought it for her for Christmas several years ago, so I was going to get her a new one. So we went into Target to look at iPads. So we got back into the electrical department, and I started looking around for iPads. I couldn't find any iPads. So there's this young chick clerk back there, and I said, "Where you got your iPads?" "Oh, they're in the back." And I looked at her, and I didn't quite understand what she meant. I said, "Well, where's the back?" And she says, well back in storage. And I says, "Well, why do you have them back there?" And she says, "Well, we have to keep them locked up." So I looked at her, and I said, "Boy, makes it kind of hard to compare models, doesn't it? Well, we didn't really have an answer for that. So I can now report to the group that iPads are definitely better than Galaxy type tablets or whatever you call them, because they have to lock them up.
And they don't lock up the Galaxies.
No, they were out there. They had those out there.
That's because they're light years away.
Jeepers, creepers. What are they thinking of? Got them in the back room, and I said, well, how can I compare? She says, well, you kind of have to tell us what you want, and then we'll go get one.
Hey, Greg?
Yeah.
Have you bought any copper items at Home Depot in the last year?
The only thing I know what you're getting at, they got lots of stuff locked up. I bought a Wise something or a cause of something. I don't remember which it was. Might have been that pan tilt camera. I bought that at Home Depot, and they had that locked up on the north wall, kind of behind the tills.
Yes, sir. That's what they have up there, Wise.
Hey, John.
Yeah, it's really gotten sad what some of these retailers have to go through.
You haven't heard about the smash and grab mobs that rob big box stores?
Yeah, I have, but has that ever happened in Bemidji?
Oh, yeah.
It has. Who got smashed and grabbed?
Well, when I worked at Menards, they didn't actually smash and grab, but a whole carload of them would come in and fan out and use their cell phones. And one would pick up an item and hide it over in a different section and tell another guy. Then that guy would, the second guy would come and sneak it out the door.
Oh, man.
They had 12 of these iPads. They weren't iPads. They were some imitation iPad type of thing, and they had 12 of them in stock, and they never sold one of them. Every one of them was stolen.
I'll be darned.
And we had one left, and the mob came in again and picked one up, and I was trying to follow him, but he eluded me, and then this other guy came in and says, where's, I thought I saw you had one left here. And I said, well, your buddy got it already. And he looked at me, and sure enough. And then he tried to return it and get his money back. Didn't have a receipt, but he tried to return it. And they wouldn't give his money back because they said they'd never sold one in the store. So it was obviously stolen, and they wouldn't give him any money.
Did they arrest him?
No, because they didn't have proof. They didn't see him. They couldn't prove it. But he didn't get his money back anyway.
What a deal!
Hey, Greg.
Store, probably.
Yeah, John.
So if you have a Target Red Card, you get 5% off every transaction if you use it. And that's the only way I figured out to get Apple products at a discount.
Yeah, well, I'm aware of that because that's why we went into Target. Donna has a Red Card. So we were going to go in there and buy it on the Red Card. So if I buy it at Target, and Target has some good buys once in a while, and then if you use the Red Card, you get a little more discount. So I'm gonna go online. The last one I ordered online, and I had it in a couple of days. So if I go that route, that's what I'm gonna do.
They also locked up deodorant, shampoo, toothpaste, and underwear.
Eyeliner.
Yeah.
Yeah,
You told me a couple of days ago I had two nice
even in
iPads
World,
here.
I've noticed that a lot of the cosmetics are locked up. They're out in the general area, but they got big screen cages that they put them in.
Down in the Home Depot in Yuma, they got all their spray paint locked up.
Yep.
Yeah, they were doing that 20-some years ago at least, when kids were stealing spray paint, squirting it into a plastic bag, and then putting the bag over their head.
What a deal. But, Gene, you had to send those iPads back, didn't you?
Yeah, but if I had known, I probably could have kept a couple and resold them.
What a deal.
So speaking of sending things back, is your ordeal with the Android Verizon phone or the Verizon phone thing all done now?
No. I still supposed to have one more package coming today, and then we're getting close to being done.
So are they going to pay you for all this mileage and post? Oh, that's right. They said that they were sending you a prepaid shipping thing that you could print out. That's right.
Yeah, it's just a hassle of going down to the post office 4 days in a row, and with my poor foot standing in a line of 20 people waiting to get to the counter.
Yeah, roger that.
Did you have a smile on?
No.
You sure?
I'm pretty sure.
He had a frown on.
I got another ordeal to tell you, but I don't dare say nothing until tomorrow to find out for sure what happens.
Oh, we're going to be waiting with bated breath.
I'll bet.
You heard it here, folks.
So, Gene, I was wondering...
Bated breath, you smelled it here.
I was wondering, Gene, if this whole shenanigans with Verizon is some miscreant that's winding up with all the phones and stuff.
Well, I tell you, it could be. The things they do sure smell like scam all the time, so I don't know.
Gene, where were these products being mailed to?
Michigan.
Michigan. Was it Gretchen Whitmer?
They wouldn't give the name out, you know.
NI0K.
KG0C.
WK0B.
A0HPY.
KB0WLT.
And 7QJP.
Hey, Stu.
Hey, Greg.
KG0K.
Hey, Stu, you stand by. Ralph, I met somebody in Walmart yesterday in Bemidji that knows you.
Must have been a high class customer.
He had a gun on his hip.
The sheriff.
What was his name? Do you remember?
I'm kidding, Ralph. It was Sharon Lemke. Do you know Sharon Lemke?
Oh my gosh, yeah, he plays bass.
Yeah, Roger. Yeah, she was elementary principal in LaPorte for quite a few years, and I'm sure you remember her husband committed suicide.
Right, and I tell her I'm her biggest fan.
Yeah, Ralph, I don't know your last name. What's your last name?
It's Nestingen. It's like a bird nesting in a tree with an EN on the end.
Okay. So anyway, I'm in the Walmart, and this woman's pushing the cart. We were going to meet. She was on one side of the aisle, and I was on the other side. And I said, "Well, that's Sharon Lemke." So I said, "Sharon." And she stopped and she looked, and then she recognized me. And we stood there for about 10 minutes talking. And I said, I'm a ham radio operator. And I explained the whole nine. Yeah, this guy named Rolf checks in. He says he's from Preacher's Point over by LaPorte. And she kind of drew a blank. And then she said, "Oh, I know Rolf." And we had kind of a fun little chat there.
He's the,
Did she tell you about my breakdancing exhibition at the Popple Bar?
yeah, he's that
No, but
guy
she
with
mentioned the
old
Popple Bar.
Go ahead, Lee.
Yeah, he's that guy with the old trailer.
I don't think she knows about the trailer, Lee.
He might be better known with that than you know.
Yeah, but not by Sharon.
The Minneapolis City Council vetoed the George Floyd Square.
Good.
I gotta go outside. Better watch out.
What do you suppose is going to happen with that Daniel Penny trial in New York?
I'm not aware of that.
He's the guy that intervened on the subway. There's this guy threatening people, and he took him down and put some kind of a chokehold on him, and he ended up dying. And they've charged him with, I think, manslaughter. He could get 15 years. And the jury's been deliberating for a couple of days, and the spin I heard was it sounds like it's going to be a hung jury.
Well, he's an ex-Marine, and he was trying to be a good Samaritan.
Yeah, if they find him guilty, man, I tell you what, that's going to be a sad deal.
Maybe our president will pardon him.
Yeah, good luck with that. Trump might, but Biden never would.
Yeah, he's got a real high standard for the pardons he hands out.
Oh, man, does he?
54 degrees in the desert.
Ah, geez, you got to make us all feel bad, don't you?
Yeah, we're going to be half of that here at the high today, Rolf.
We're coming up for Christmas, so save some of the bad weather for us.
Okay, will do. I thought you were Norwegian, Rolf. You must not be hearing me.
He may have signed
No,
off.
I think it started to split. Anyway, I said I was coming up for Christmas. Save some of the bad weather for me.
I said we would, but I also commented I thought you were Norwegian.
Yeah, at the north. I'm 100%er.
Well, I thought Nestigan would be a Finnish name with the EN on the end.
Yeah, we come from up by Lillehammer originally.
My wife's full-blooded Norse.
A danged immigrant.
I'm married to a Swede, and we can't, that's a mixed marriage in Scandinavia.
Hey, Ralph, here's a little anecdote for you. My wife's brother is pretty active in the church, and he's been on the council many times. And he happened to find a really old book of minutes from the church back into the 1800s, and one of the meetings they'd written down members present, 17 Christians, 3 Swedes.
That one I'm going to remember. That's good.
Oh, that's righteous.
Gotta love it, don't you?
Oh, my goodness.
So, Greg,
So, John,
tell us about Christians. How many different flavors are there?
there are 2. There are Christians, And then there are Christians that really aren't Christians. And there's many different flavors of those.
Is that like the rhinos?
Yeah, it kind of is. It's, how can I explain it? It's, true Christians, pretty much, how would I say this? Have received the Holy Spirit. If you haven't received the Holy Spirit, you're, oh man, how do I say it? I don't know, but there are lots of Christian denominations that really don't adhere to Christian theology. They've become extremely liberal and just don't follow the rules.
And the popularity of three Christians walked into a bar. It's like, what are you doing in the bar in the first place?
Yeah. You could be watching the football game.
There's only two things you need to know about God. There is one, and you're not it.
Yeah. Remember that line from that movie, Rudy?
Oh, yeah. Football in Notre Dame.
Yeah, little short guy. And he was talking to the old priest. And the old priest says, well, I'm sure of two things, Rudy. He says, there is a God, and it's not me.
NI0K. Greg, I want to continue this conversation someday, not on the radio.
Yeah, certainly. I mean, I'm not the best person to get into discussions like this. I consider myself a Christian, but I'm not extremely well-versed.
Rolf, is your permanent address in Sun City West?
Yeah, it sure is. And a little story there. We discovered our driver's license were going to expire yesterday, so we went over to the DMV, which is an adventure in itself down here, because they're always busy and there's always a line 20 people long. Anyway, we went in there. The gal started asking me, well, all kinds of questions about my license, and I said, finally said, well, you know, the state of Arizona issued me this license. I don't know the answer to all these questions. But my wife went up and she failed the eye test, so she had to go to an optometrist and have a form filled out and went back and got her license renewed, but she had just had her eye dilated, so she couldn't see the chart. So, you know, I've always said that Swedes can't see much.
Narrow-sighted?
And narrow-minded.
I don't want to go there.
And John, I want to get in on that conversation with Sue.
Yeah, Rolf, we'll do that some pretty summer afternoon while we're floating around my lake on my pontoon.
And Rolf?
Oh my God, that sounds like a plan.
Rolf, on your QRZ page, it says you're in Eau Claire County, Wisconsin, yet it shows your Sun City address.
Yeah, I got a guy down here that's been pestering the heck out of me to get that fixed. I suppose I better make a note of it. And the other thing is on these C4FM, I put in my latitude and longitude down here. It shows me he's about 1.5 miles away from me, and it shows me about 20 miles. So the glories of technology. I lived in Eau Claire for 20 years. Before that, Minot, North Dakota. Before that, Harmony, Minnesota. And then before that, Watford City, North Dakota.
So were you in Eau Claire when Paul AAH was ministering in the Lutheran Church?
Absolutely. Don't get me started, Lee. When I see you next summer sometime, I'll tell you some stories about Paul. Yeah, he was quite a character, W0AIH. He was a character and a half, for sure. That was really sad when he fell off that tower.
Yeah, he's originally from Virginia, Minnesota.
I even have a story about that. My stepmother was a next-door neighbor, and one day she went out, and Paul was up one of his towers and had one of her boys along. She just about went bananas. But he picked up a lot of forest service towers, that they were scrapping out and all that kind of stuff. And he started out taking down, in his early days, he was taking down wind generator towers.
Yeah, I know he got a lot of them forest towers for sure. Yeah, it'll be interesting to talk about him. I knew him pretty good through the years.
Yeah, I got story after story. We were great friends, though. He was Missouri Synod, and I was his ELCA, and we were of like mind, let's put it that way, KG0 Camp. Back when CQ was still publishing, they had a picture of everybody out at the farm gathered for his wake, I guess you'd call it. And they're still using the farm for DXing, for DX contests.
I'm guessing that that some of the antennas don't work very well because of maintenance issues.
Yeah, that's the problem, but I'll tell you this. I have a friend, Lynn, who's vice chair on the ARRL anyway. He was visiting me in Eau Claire, and I took him out to the farm. And you drive up kind of over a hill, and there it is. And he just about burst into tears when he saw it. When he saw the sight of all those towers and all those antennas.
Oh yeah, it was even a sight to be seen from the freeway.
Absolutely, yeah. You have to kind of pay attention, but there was a certain area there on the freeway where you could look right up a draw, kind of up towards the top there, and you could see all those antennas. And
it
the last
was easier if you were westbound to see it than if you were eastbound.
75-meter lead. You can look them up on YouTube, and you can see a lot of that, especially when they were putting up that beam.
Yeah, it was much easier to see it going westbound on 94 there rather than eastbound.
Yeah, that's right. That's right. He was about halfway down to Osseo. I was out there many, many times. We most of the regular hams, you know, we'd work Wisconsin QSO party, and then when the ARRL had that special state thing, I did a lot of work on 20 meters for him. That check was something to behold. It was all Icon 761. And then he had the 20-meter shack about 200 yards up the hill.
Yeah.
I know his son-in-law was is a ham. And I think he's, Paul's wife is still alive. I visit her once in a while every summer when I'm up. And I think, to put it crudely, I think they're just waiting for her to relinquish the property, so to speak. He did tower work. She was he called her the winch witch.
Oh, yeah.
When I asked my wife to help me with a tower project, she was running the rope, and I said, "Okay, raise it 3 feet," and I watched the antenna come down 3 feet. She raised the rope 3 feet.
Yeah.
And eyes are okay.
KG0C.
K0HPY.
WK0B. N7QJP. KB0WLT.
KG0 cam remote.
Lee, are you aware of the FM 38 repeater group in Wisconsin?
What's it called?
FM as frequency modulation 38.org.
I don't recognize that, but is it that group that has all them linked together?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I linked my repeater to them to try it out for a while.
Okay.
Gary Johnson.
Yeah.
How long was Linda in rehab?
Well, both places that she was in it amounted to about a month.
Oh. I thought it was longer than that.
Well, she was in the hospital for that too. It's been a stretch.
Yeah. You know, she's on Medicare, right?
Roger.
Yeah, you get 100 days, you know, of rehab on Medicare. Usually these places tend to want to keep you for 100 days, and then they let you go.
Yeah. Then you go back in and it resets the clock.
No. You're only allowed 100 days, I think, during a year.
Yeah, Roger.
Oh my. I've got the type F supplement though.
Yeah. You've talked about that. I don't know what that's all about. I haven't even heard of that until you started talking about it.
I don't think it's available anymore, but as long as I've got it, I can keep renewing it.
That's what I understand, and if you don't renew it, you'll lose it, and you can't get it back.
Roger.
My wife is a cancer survivor, and she could get long-term care insurance, but I could not.
How can you afford that?
It's $3,600 a year.
Basically, $10 a day. Real close.
Well, the way I afford it is when those commercials come on TV that show the dirty kids looking really sad and this has-been actress starts pleading, I change the channel. I don't send her money.
How about the one with the sad, starving puppy dogs?
Oh, yeah, that's another one.
Japers, that one drives me nuts.
My wife will change the channel when that comes on.
Happen all the time. You change channels from one Medicare commercial, and the next channel is Medicare commercial. So now I gotta hit the sound button, mute it.
Well, that's almost over.
For the most part, and most of them, but there'll still be some on. There's all kinds of notes on the internet. Do not text between Android and iPhone. Chinese are targeting them.
Do not what?
Do not text between Android and iPhone. You can text between Android and Android, and it's encrypted, but it doesn't go the other direction.
I'll be darned.
If you have that new text app, what do they call it, RCP, then that works.
I don't think it does. I thought I was reading that it still didn't have that part.
Oh.
You can go from iPhone to iPhone, and it's encrypted, but when you go to Android, it's not. I'd have to probably look it up again, but that's what I thought I read.
was the exec at Apple. I don't even know who that is now, but when they confronted him on that, why don't you get with it? And he said, why? They can buy an iPhone.
Yeah, probably so.
John, if I remember right, you have a rig expert analyzer, right?
Yes.
Have you ever? Can you Bluetooth that over to your iPhone?
The model I have was before any rig experts had Bluetooth.
Okay. I ran into something interesting just last night. I was exchanging comments with a guy online, and he had a Bluetooth-enabled rig expert, I don't know, the one that goes to 35 megs or whatever it was, and he bought one of the new Stick Pro 500s, I think he said it was, and he said he was out using it, and he pulled out his cell phone, and he was totally disappointed because it didn't have return loss. There was a whole bunch of the Smith chart wasn't available. All the cool stuff other than just an SWR graph wasn't, and he says, what's with these stick things? How come they took all those features out? And I said, well, I have a Stick 230, and and I did a screenshot for him, and I sent it to him, and I said, as you can see, there's Smith charts and return loss and a bunch of other calcs that I don't even pretend to be able to explain how they work. And he said, wow, that's weird. He goes, let me do a little checking. And sure enough, the iOS version of AntScope doesn't support any of those extra features other than SWR.
NI0K. Where is that app sourced from?
The AntScope?
The Apple app. Did Rig Expert write it?
I have no idea. I've never gone down that path because I don't have any Apple products to even try it on. So, no idea. Don't know what to tell you.
CG0CE.
NI0K.
WK0B. KB0WLT.
That's why I was just wondering if you had the Bluetooth feature, because that's what it uses. But anyway, that was kind of weird to see such a big difference between the two platforms.
I have read of Bluetooth issues with the Rig Expert, but I've never been down that road.
It's always behaved itself when I used it, but with my Android phone. But I mean, that's the only thing I can compare it to is just one data point. That's it. But it does work good that way. Yeah. Anyway, so much for that. I think I'm going to go get another reload of coffee. And 7QJP back in a bit.
Gene, there's a picture on the internet, 4 police cars at Riverwood Bank.
Oh, no kidding.
Yesterday.
Heard nothing myself.
Yesterday. Surrounded a Cadillac.
Where's Dan when we need him?
Morning, guys. N0BCD.
Morning. Oh, Mr. Loud. Good morning, Bill.
Morning, Bill.
So have you guys solved all the world's problems this morning already?
We're close.
Good. Somebody's got to do it.
Does anybody recognize the guy from New York City that the cops have been showing pictures of?
Not me. But they got two better pitchers out there now. He's a young guy. I think he's a young guy.
And he knows how to write on ammo cartridges.
Does he? What's that all about? I haven't heard about that.
What's going on in New York City?
Who wants to tell him?
So the head of United Healthcare, the health insurance company that's based in Minnesota, he was in New York and somebody shot him.
And a city that's got more gun control than any place else?
Yes, and it's all on video, Gary.
Oh my.
And he made his getaway on an e-bike.
Was it a professional hit?
Well, they don't know. Apparently, the Department of Justice was about to investigate him or had started an investigation on the CEO for insider trading.
Oh, yeah.
I live in Maple Grove.
Would they find some empty cases and some loaded rounds laying there in the pile? What, did he have, a couple jam-ups or something?
No, he left those on purpose.
Go ahead, you guys doubled.
He left those cartridges on purpose.
Why would he leave them on purpose?
Bullet casings inscribed with the words deny, defend, and depose.
Oh, I didn't know that.
Leaving a message.
Yeah.
Yeah, see, I knew he'd show up.
Speaking of that,
You can ask him now, Gene.
not me.
Was there a bank robbery yesterday, Dan?
In town? Nothing at home.
Bemidji Chit Chat had a picture of 4 squad cars surrounding a Cadillac at Riverwood Bank.
Oh, what time was that?
In the afternoon sometime, I think.
Okay, yeah, I'll ask.
Obviously, you weren't on duty.
No, and in the last year or so, I've been pretty horrible at even listening to the scanner unless I hear sirens.
Well, Dan, you don't want to get burned out too quickly.
Yeah, I've been there 2 years and 8 months, and I was burnt out about 2 years and 7.5 months ago.
That sounds like me and auto mechanicking.
It sounds like everybody in their job, doesn't it?
Yeah.
John, tell me the story about the audio.
Oh, I've got it written up into a narrative. I'll email it to you.
Okay, yeah, I appreciate it. Boy, Gary, I'm sure you miss turning wrenches there, don't you?
I don't even change my own oil. I haven't for years.
Bring it in and have the man do it, huh?
That's it.
Hey, Gary.
Yeah.
I always like to get my oil changed on the Ram before I go to Yuma, and I usually have a synthetic put in, so I don't have to change it while I'm down there. And I've still got about 50% oil life on my oil right now, so. And then, of course, I got to go to Grand Forks to get it done free, you know. So yesterday we were in Walmart. I said, "Jeepers, I don't think we're gonna find time here to go to Grand Forks, because I got to go to Fargo." Anyway, I ended up buying 6 quarts of synthetic and an oil filter at Walmart yesterday. You know, that got to be $50. And so I'm going to have to change the oil myself again, but I'm going to have Benji come down and crawl underneath. I'll work from the top side. He can crawl underneath.
Sounds like a plan.
Yeah. We won't even have to put it up on ramps for him to crawl under it.
Yeah, tell him righty-tighty, lefty-loosey.
You know, he's gotten to be a decent, home mechanic, huh? I would give him credit.
Tell him don't strip out the drain plug bolt. Use the cheater bar.
Absolutely.
And if you lose the drain plug, you can use a spark plug instead.
That's no white's tail.
I've seen pictures.
If you get real lucky.
I'm curious, how many people actually go by that percentage thing that the vehicles show you, or do you just go by time and miles?
Well, I tend to go by it. I think it's all based on RPMs. What else would it be based on?
Well, I think they got a little computer calculating it.
Well, I wonder what the algorithm is for calculating. How do it know, Gary?
Well, probably drive time and idle time and mileage, and how that goes. Every little piece of data they plug into a computer and they figure out how much wear it put on the oil.
Well, I think that would be a good system. I don't see anything wrong with that.
I think it should be okay. It's quite the difference, though. 3,000 versus, I think you're close to about 7,500 using the computer.
I'll tell you what the problem is with that is people never check the oil now that there's that oil change reminder, and you could be 2 quarts low and not know about it. NI0K.
Wouldn't your oil pressure drop?
KG0CA.
N0BCD.
AB08.
Hey guys, I have to ask your opinion on something. Bring up my website, would you?
It's not going to change.
Double.
We're stepping on each other. Go ahead.
Oh, I said, just because you're low, like a couple quarts, I don't think the oil pressure is going to change as long as the oil level's above the pickup in the pan. The pressure's going to be the same, but at some point you'll reach the point where it won't pick up anymore, and then you got problems.
Yeah. Anyway, if you would be so kind, bring up my website.
Is it Gerber.com?
Yeah, that's close.
Same ones are there as last time.
No, it's a little different.
Who's that scary guy on the cover with the Darth Vader mask on?
I don't know who that is. I just took that off the internet.
So what are we looking at?
Well, you're looking at that home page there with a picture of me grinding. I've got my web designer working on this. I emailed him yesterday. I've been thinking about changing the home page. You should do that every now and then. And I thought, I'm going to change it. So I texted him. Said I'd like to have some changes made to the home page. I can change everything else, but I can't change the home page. And I suppose he could give me permission to do that, but I don't know how. Anyway, he told me he was giving up web design. And I said, well, and you're right. He said, what would you think about looking for another web designer? So I asked him for recommendations. He gave me a recommendation. And he said, what did you want done? And I told him, I said, nothing real serious. And I told him what I wanted. He said, all right, I'll do that. So I texted him this picture. And I'm also going to put a new picture where it says Bruce Blades up there on the left. That's going to get a new picture. And I'm going to eliminate that coat of arms with something else. I'm not sure what yet.
Greg, I have a question on the specific knife.
You do?
Yeah, so you go to your website there and you click on hunting and larger knives, and it pulls up that first page. The knife on the upper left, does that one get pardoned or no?
Your mind works in the strangest ways, Dan.
Yeah, it does.
So anyway, I like it the way it is so far. I think it's better.
I got to check out KG0CE.
See you, Gary. Good luck.
See you, Gary.
73. Bye-bye. Page looks the same to me.
You might have to dump your cache. I had to do that yesterday. I was in the shack looking at it on the PC, and then I went out to the love seat, and that's where I have my Mac, and I brought it up, and it looked like it did before. And I finally I quit the browser, I refreshed, I did the whole 9 yards, and it wouldn't change. So I went on to the settings for Firefox and cleared the cache, and then it was right. So you might have to clear the cache, Gene.
Well, you're asking me to do something I've never done or heard about before.
What browser do you use?
Edge.
Well, it's probably very similar. You go into either settings or preferences, whichever. I think your PC would say preferences for Edge, and then get into all your settings and look around till you find one that says something to the effect of clear cache.
Okay.
What's different on the homepage?
There's a picture of me grinding right at the top. It's in the middle.
Yeah, I'm seeing that.
Yeah, so then good. You're good to go.
I didn't clear my cache.
Where it says Bruce Blades on the left, that's going to get a new picture. And over on the right, that coat of arms, that's going to get eliminated.
There were a lot of people in the gangster area that were era that were eliminated.
Yeah. That still occurs today, John. There's a story on the internet about a healthcare CEO in New York who got eliminated.
John, you're supposed to epoxy everything together, not use a double-sided tape.
Yeah.
Well, I got another little anecdote to share if you're interested. Okay, then, I won't.
Okay.
Thanks, John.
Every once in a while, when I oiling a sheath, I get these black streaks, and I don't like it, and I can't figure out why it's happening. And I use oil, harness oil, that I buy from Weaver Leather. It's made by a company called Sheps. And then I use the dye that Weaver Leather sells under their own name. And I mix them. And I mix it, I pour the dye in until I get the right color I want. Well, anyway, I get these black streaks. So it's kind of at my wit's end. So I sent an email off to Weaver and sent him a picture of what I was talking about. And about 3-4 days later, I finally got an answer. Yesterday, I got an answer while I was in Walmart. And she came up with a description. She said, you gotta if you got to dye your sheath first and then oil it. And she sent me a link to a video. So I started watching that video, but it's hard to watch it on the phone in Walmart. So I quit. So I emailed her back and I said, I mixed my dye with the oil. Is that incorrect? Well, I haven't heard back from her on that one. So when I got home, I went out and I looked at the oil and the dye bottles. And right on the dye bottle, it says, mix the dye with the oil. So, go figure. It's a mystery.
So do you put the dye into the oil or the oil into the dye?
Dye into the oil. I put the lime in the coconut.
Don't call me. Has anybody used the outdoor cable box from Menards? It's a plastic box that has knockouts in it, and it's made for keeping AC cord connections weatherproof.
No, not that kind. But on my shed, the duplex that's recessed into the wall on the outside has a flip cover on it, so you can put things in and kind of close the cover on it. It's not that standard duplex cover where it's got two little flippers that flip open. This one's got an enclosure that opens and closes.
That's what's code now.
Yeah. It's kind of nice because that's where I have my Wi-Fi camera plugged in. And you know that little USB power supply that you get, it fits in there.
Yes, it does, and I do the same thing.
On the north side of my garage where I have that camera plugged in, that has no cover on it at all. I mean, it has that little flippy one, the two little flips. But I haven't put anything on that one. I probably should.
Hey, John.
Yeah.
Yeah, this RG400 is a little bit tough to work with. I made all those jumpers out of Radio Shack coax with the twist-on connectors.
Good. With the white PVC insulation?
Yeah. Instead of the heat shrink, I use some of that 69 cents a roll electrical tape so the braid doesn't show. I should be an expert by the time I'm done here, huh?
And there's a lot of coaxes there.
Yeah. I think I'm gonna bring my I got one of those I don't even know what they call them. It's like a headset with a magnifier and a light on there. I plan to bring that to work and then bring the coax with me and a good caliper and stuff and do the trimming there in the wee hours of the morning.
I kind of thought you might do that. Sounds great.
So I brought Eli in yesterday. He got his debit card for his bank account. So he's living life right now. It's the rite of passage to be able to put it on the card.
Oh, and how's he coming on the driving?
He's basically done with his driving practice, whatever. We just got to get him scheduled in, and then after that, the last step is to call your insurance company and get him added.
And is that coming off his debit card?
No. We'll get that. The goal is to help both kids through college there with their vehicle costs, vehicle maintenance, and vehicle insurance.
Well, you just keep track of the mileage and charge him, 62.5 cents a mile, and then also get one of those things that plugs into the ODB connector that tells you when he's being bad.
Yeah, the tough part is the insurance company. You have to assign a driver to each vehicle, and so Abby's assigned to the 2006 Honda Accord, the cheaper car. Then we have a 2015 Civic and a 2016 Accord, and they're gonna, I'm sure, want to assign him to one of those cars. But we'd actually probably be money ahead if we went out and bought a $200 junker, left it in the salvage yard and assigned him to that one.
Well, I got to check out, boys. Get ready and go to rehab. Have a good one, and I0K.
Have fun, John.
Take care, N7QJP.
Sure. Put you in a room with 8 guys that are circling the drain and 3 guys that are doing their best to get them to go down said drain.
Yeah, see, John.